sure my mic is on. You know, it's like, there's almost nothing worse than going to edit a video and then realizing that you didn't, like, the camera turned off or your mic turned off. It's rookie moves, people, but it still happens. I'm back, you guys. I took a little bit of a break. I'm so busy with the business that I own, my animals, and life in general that I pretty much never get the opportunity to pre-film, even if I try my hardest. Because aside from like pre-filming, I was putting up 2 videos on this channel and on my other channel. I didn't realize that you're gonna be able to see my pajama pants in this video. So let's just pretend those are not there. But I'm super comfortable, so that's really all that matters. I'm excited to be filming another video today. I feel pumped up. I just got back from Florida and I got a really nice few days to just decompress, relax, hang out with other YouTubers that I really admire and respect, and I'm feeling super inspired and excited to film. So, you know, I kind of took a couple like mental health days like while I was at my mom's house, which is why I haven't been uploading. Things have been crazy with Arctic Fox. We have been hiring people, training people. It's been really overwhelming, honestly, running an entire office by myself. So that's the kind of why I needed to take some time. But today's video is you're gonna meet all of my pets, because some of you have lost track of what I have or don't know. I've even gotten a few that I haven't done a video on because I was like, honestly, Kristen, like every video you put up is gonna be like, I got this, I got this, I got this. And people are gonna think you're a pet hoarder, even though you kind of are. I put up a poll pretty much everywhere that you could possibly put a poll online, and I asked you guys if you wanted to see me feeding all of my pets or meeting all of my pets, and one very ambitious Twitter user said, do both of them! And I was like, this video is gonna be 2 hours long if I do both of those. So what one was meeting all of my pets. So that's what today's video is going to be about. I'm also very excited to let you guys know that today's video is brought to you by BetterHelp. But first of all, I'm really excited and grateful for the opportunity to have a sponsored video on this channel, because tons of my money from this channel and my other beauty channel go back to my animals and their enclosures and the rescues that I get, and it is very expensive. It's very expensive to keep a Savannah Monitor's cage like 125 degrees on one end. It's expensive, and I pretty much get them the best of the best and set them all up. So thank you guys so much for your support and for watching, and thank you BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. Super excited to be working with you on something so important. BetterHelp is an online place where you can get counseling in 4 different ways. You can get on the phone with a certified counselor. These are all licensed, certified, etc. You can do a video chat, you can do email, and you can do like a chat widget. So BetterHelp, if you want to check it out, you can go to betterhelp.com/KristenLeann. I wish that this site was around when I really, a long time ago, when I didn't have the money to go in person and pay for a counseling session. They do singles counseling and couples counseling too, which is really, really awesome. Mental health is really near and dear to my heart. I was on depression medication my whole life growing up, and I hated going into a counselor. Like, it was not my thing. I wanted to be in the comfort of my own home. So knowing that I can get on betterhelp.com now and just get help, the help that I need, and the encouragement and words of wisdom and like just help from my own house is like just so amazing. So I'm really excited to be sharing this with you guys. It's also a lot less expensive than going to an actual counseling office. I'm not downplaying that at all. If that's your jam, awesome. But it's just amazing that this is an option now. Mental health is very, very important. And if you watched my breakup video, like I had a breakup video with like about an abusive relationship that I was in. I really wish that something like this had been around. So now that it is, I'm just really, really excited and pleased to share it with you. And I also, like, if you have pets, you know that they are great at helping mental health. Like, I'm not saying that it's necessarily pets cure it, but my pets, where's my wedding ring? I just realized that I forgot to put that on today. My pets like attribute to tons of my happiness. And so they are almost like little counselors themselves, but sometimes you need professional help and you need someone to talk to. So if that's you and you're interested in exploring it, the link is in the description box for you to check it out. I hope that you get as much out of it as I have, and I'm just excited that it's available for you guys. And thank you again, BetterHelp, for sponsoring this video. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you so much. Now, let's get into meeting my pets. This is gonna take a little bit of time now because I had 17 pets, most of which are exotic pets, considered exotic pets, and one of my fish just passed away. So I'm like, honestly, I can't keep fish alive to save my life. I probably shouldn't have them anymore. I don't think I'll be buying any more. But we'll go ahead and get started with this video. We'll start with the simplest of creatures, and those are my 2 dogs. I wanted to put a little disclaimer in this video as well. I wanted to just say that before we get started, I am not making this video to inspire you to adopt or rescue or collect animals by any means. I am in a unique position that I'm super grateful for, that I pretty much am home all day, every day, unless I'm on a trip. And you guys always ask me, who watches your pets while you're gone? I have someone that's trained, that stays in my house, that watches all my pets, and does a very good job. But inevitably, watching pet channels, you're like, you want to get pets because you want to have them for your own, because you love pets, like I do. But please do your research before you get any animals. These are living, breathing things that feel pain, that deserve to be taken care of the best that you possibly can. And you should be able to recreate their natural environment as much as possible. So I'm just putting it out there that I'm not saying, oh, go collect a bunch of animals and trying to inspire that in anyone. But if you do happen to get the animals that you want, make sure you do your research. I've done so much research on all of these animals, and I've had reptiles since I was little, and it's very, very important that you understand that this is a life, this is a living thing that you need to care for in the best way that you can. And if you can't care for it properly, you should not have it. I am lucky enough, my Arctic Fox office is half a mile up the road. I could probably see it from my balcony over there. And I'm home pretty much all of the time. Like all day, I'm home here with my animals. Some of my animals need to be tended to like 4 different times out the day, to be misted, etc. So I'm in a unique situation where I get to be here with my animals. So I just wanted to put that out there, but let's go ahead and get started. We'll start here. This is Frankie. I think he is a pug chi, and this is Leonidas Morgan. Frankie is about 4 years old. Frankie is a rescue from the shelter. Look at that little face! Look at that little face! He's stinky. He loves to give kisses. This is Leonidas. They don't get along super well, so we'll see how this plays out. But okay, so Frankie, just a little bit of backstory. I was just like looking on the shelter website, which I don't suggest doing, and I saw Frankie and I fell in love with his face. And then when I met him, he was so scared and so shaky, and it was so just like, it broke my heart. And I asked him, I was like, what's his story? So Frankie was actually, he was not neutered when I got him, so we had to do that. But that tells me that maybe he just wasn't with like a responsible person, because unless you're breeding a dog, which I don't necessarily agree with for my own reasons, then they shouldn't really have their balls intact. So Frankie here was actually living in a motorhome with about 12 other dogs, and apparently it was a hoarder situation, and he was very, very skinny. His bones were showing, and he's so healthy and happy now. Remember when I brought you home and you were growling at me and you were scared of me? You were scared of me. And Leonidas is about 2.5 years old, and he is a Pomeranian, purebred as far as I know, and he weighs like 4 pounds. He's super tiny, but they don't get along the best. I wish they were getting along a little bit better, but they kind of like bicker, I would say, about 70% of the time, and then play and ignore each other 30% of the time. Did I do that math right? Yes, I did. Go me. Okay, so next we have, I'm gonna do like, start off with the most normal and then move into the reptiles and exotics. So now we have my rats, which are very stinky. I can smell them down here. Get me, baby. So I have 3 rats, and I adopted them from We Companions all together. However, since then they've needed to be separated because one of my rats likes to bully the other rats, and they will wake up with scabs on their face and their bodies, and I'm still trying to figure out if it's the one that I think it is, but this is Chunk right here. This is a Chunky, and it's funny that he got named Chunk because he is the chunkiest. Huh, babies? He's so big. And so this is my little, they're male rats. So this is Chunk. Come here, Mikey. See if you can guess what movie I named them from. This is Mikey. Hi, Mikey. Mikey is the shyest of my rats. He's also well, I would say Data's the smallest, maybe. He's very, very shy. He squeaks every time I try and pick him up, and he's gotten better, but I don't really know what their situation was before I adopted them. They are, how old are they? I want to say they're about 2 years old is what I was told. Come here, Data. And then last but not least, we have kind of the loner of the pack, and who I believe to be the bully because he's always bullying them when I come in there. This is Data. Say hi, Stinker. Rats are, where are y'all going? Let me find my rats before they disappear. I usually put something down when I pull them out on the couch because they do leave droplets of pee everywhere. But rats are very, very stinky animals. You have to clean up after them every single day. They are a lot of work. I would say that them and my chameleon are the highest maintenance pets. People think rats are just, oh, it's like, you know, whatever. But you actually have to bathe them sometimes. If their tail, they drag this through, their poop and their pee all the time. They're very needy. They need to come out often. They're very smart. They need to be stimulated. So these little guys get out multiple times per week, and I let them run around in my room or on the couch here. See, Data's like, do you hear them? I don't know if you heard that, but Data's over here causing fights again. What are you doing? But rats are definitely should be kept in a pack or a pair at least. So that's why I've got 3 of them. You've been eating too much rat foods? Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. He's like, no, I'm just gonna climb on your face. Where you going? You got stuff to go see? Stuff to do? Where you going? You busy? Now we get into my hamsters. This is Olivera. She is a teddy bear hamster. She is a big girl. She is the biggest hamster that I have. I love her little wispies. She's got them coming off by her butt too. She is just under a year old. I got my 2 hamsters after Frito passed away. If you have been subscribed on my channel or if you've binge watched the videos on this channel, then you know, I'm talking too loud for her, she's like getting scared. Then you know that Frito unfortunately had to be put to sleep. So if you're curious about that, it is linked in the description box. But this is Olivera, look at her little butt wings. Hi, sweet girl. She is, I adopted her from the same place that I got my rats from, and she's just like super cute. She is a ball of fire, aren't you? Aren't you? You don't take no for an answer. I know. Good girl. I also don't really know Olivera's story. I don't know how she came to be at We Companions for adoption. But she is awesome. She's just like so cute, and she's kind of learned not to jump out of my hands. When I first got her, you had to be very careful because she would just jump right out of your hands, huh? Hi, little lady. Yeah. Next we have Bear. This is my male Syrian hamster. He's not like straightening his leg. Why is your little leg straight? I wore lipstick and I can't kiss any of them right now, and it's driving me crazy. This is my male Syrian hamster. I also adopted him from We Companions the same day that I actually adopted, he's licking me, the same day that I adopted Olivera. What are you licking? Literally like washed my hands between and like, I don't know what he's licking on. He is a little over a year old, and he is like so calm and so sweet, and I just woke him up from a nap, so he's probably like, lady, what are you doing to me right now? Is it nummies? Is it nummy? He's really sweet. He's a lot calmer than Olivera. He's not as crazy. Hi, honey. Hi, sweetheart. He's very curious. He always like crawls out of my hand to smell, and like where she's just like going a mile a minute, he's like way more calm.
I don't know his story. I don't know why he was surrendered, but I'm so glad I got to adopt him when I did because he is like just the cutest. You and Olivera are like just adorable. And I will say that they are not together. Teddy bear hamsters are solitary creatures, so they should never be housed together with one another. They need to be kept completely separate. So these two, actually, when I was adopting them, they basically said, like, we know you've adopted from us before, but we can't adopt you a male and a female hamster at the same time because A, we don't want you to breed them, and B, they will fight to the death if you put them together, and we can't, it's just policy that we don't do it. And I literally started crying in there because I just started talking about Frito, and I started crying, and they let me take both of them home, and they're both in separate cages, and they're in pretty large cages. I think it's a misconception that you can keep a hamster in a small, like little, 12-inch cage. That's not right for them. They're in a 3-foot by 2-foot enclosure, and I honestly wish that I had space to make it even bigger. I think that they should be in like a 4-foot by 3-foot. Honestly, they love to run around and scavenge and search, and I like to change up their cage a lot because they find it interesting. Like, they love to find treats in there, and they like to be stimulated too. So they come out a few times a week. I would say like a handful of times every week too, to run around the little room, and I set up little obstacle courses for them, and you guys have a fun time, huh? Did I wait? He's like, what is going on? Like, you just woke me up from my nap. I have no idea what time it is or what day it is. You have big balls. Holy shit. Are you serious right now? I'm trying to keep you in this container. You guys might be wondering why I am in a completely different outfit. Some of the video was a bit blurry, but the clips that I did with my rabbits and my geckos were like way too blurry for too much time. So I'm filming them again. So this is my Bun Brixton. He is about 2.5 years old. And his story is really funny, actually. I had no intention of getting a rabbit or a pet that day at all, actually. Brixton was Ryan and I's very first pet together. And so Ryan and I were up in Lodi going to Ryan's grandfather's funeral, and we had some time to kill, and I was like, let's go to the pet store that's right there. And he will totally not fall for that anymore, because literally every time I go to a pet store or someplace with animals, I inevitably come back with one or two. So it was random. We went to this pet store, and all these kids were playing with all these rabbits and like stretching them out and just like not handling them properly. And then there was Brixton just like sitting in the middle of all of them. And so I was like, oh, I really want to see that bunny. So then I fell in love with him, and I was like, I've got to have this rabbit. And Ryan was like trying to talk me out of it. I was like, no, I have to have this rabbit. So I literally snuck him through security and onto a plane and back home. And recently we just bonded him with Olive, who is right over here. You'll see her in a second. Bonded him with Olive, and they get along so well. There's a whole video on it because Brixton didn't get along with hardly any rabbits until he met Olive. So Olive is the newest member to the family. Come here, baby. Okay, come here, sweetie. Let me get her out. Oh. So this is Olive, and she's super sweet. I got her from the same place that I adopted my rats and my hamsters from. So she came from We Companions, and her and Brixton are like the best of buds. So I'm like super stoked for Brixton that he finally has someone to hang out with. Rabbits definitely need to be in pairs, at least in the wild. They have tons, there's like a lot of rabbits in their little pack. So definitely they need a buddy. So I'm super stoked that like Brixton finally has, oh my gosh, he's over here cleaning himself. Is that off camera? Oh, you can see him cleaning himself. Say bye, you guys. Hey. So that is it for my furry little mammal friends. Now we're gonna be moving into my reptiles, which seems to be kind of like, I don't know, people really love the rats, the rabbits, and then reptiles. It seems to be like the most interesting for you guys. So first we have my most recent adoption. Her name is Lucy. I have not done a video on her yet, but I guess this is her debut on the channel, everybody. Welcome, Lucy. This is Lucy. She is a bearded dragon. She's nothing fancy. She's just a bearded dragon. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, I've got this, like, I'm not making fun of them, but it's like, I don't really care what it is. It's the animal that I care about. I don't collect, bearded dragons because I'm like, ooh, this is like a hypo, blah, blah, blah. Like she's just a bearded dragon that needed a home. I was on Craigslist. I know you guys keep telling me I need to stay off Craigslist, but she was on Craigslist and she was in this small cage and she didn't have any lighting, she had no heating, and there was rotting lettuce all around her cage. I'm actually gonna do a video on that so you guys can see kind of like what I rescued her from. So I drove all the way up to Orange County to pick her up, and I've had her probably for like a month now. And now you're in a 6-foot by 2-foot enclosure, huh? And you've got like all sorts of fun stuff in there. Hi, baby. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you probably saw the video recently of her eating my hair. It was really, really cute. But Lucy is about 3 years old, I was told, and she's just like super sweet. She's like so chill, and she was being fed iceberg lettuce, which is not what you feed bearded dragons, and she absolutely loves her insects. She goes absolutely insane. And you love your kale, huh? You love your kale. So I feed her a variety of stuff that's great for bearded dragons. We sprinkle some nutrients on there, but she goes absolutely nuts for crickets. Like crickets are her favorite, and what else? You love super worms, but she's just like so chill. And a lot of times I will put her outside in in the cage that she came in, which is by far too small for her to live in, but I fill it up with a little bit of water so she gets to soak, and she soaks up sun pretty much every day. I'll just put her out there and she'll hang out outside and get some UV rays and just like sits on her little log like that's upright, and she just like holds on to the end of it and just closes her eyes like this all day, and she just hangs out. Is that so fun? Is that so much fun? Huh? And I don't know if you guys remember, but like I tweeted her Craigslist ad when I saw it, and I was like, oh my gosh, you guys, like, I think I gotta go get this girl. And so then I ended up going to get her, and it was an awesome decision. I absolutely love her. And a bearded dragon is like the first reptile that I ever actually owned as a little kid. And I had a traumatizing experience with one of my bearded dragons. We'll go over that in the video with her, but that was so awful. Anyways, this is like was my entry reptile into the reptilian community, and a bearded dragon is just like a really great pet. They're very easygoing. They really never bite. They're just like really calm and collected, but you get a little spazzy when you get crickets, huh? When you see the crickets, you go crazy, don't you? She's trying to make up stuff about me. No, it's true. She sees crickets and she like just goes crazy. Where you going? You're causing me to have a double chin on camera. Next up, we have my Leopard Geckos. We'll start off with, so I got my first Leopard Gecko. These are all actually rescues. Found them on Craigslist, and they were in the most disgusting of situations. So we'll start with the very first one that I rescued. So this is Nefertiti. I was searching on Craigslist again, and I saw a photo of her awful cage that she was in, and I had never had a leopard gecko before, but I'd already been doing a lot of research on different geckos because I wanted a crested gecko. So I got her from the person who had her, and there's actually a whole video on that if you're interested in seeing where she came from and kind of what her story is. But she was just not being taken care of properly. It was really a sad situation. So I found myself the proud new owner of a leopard gecko, and she is so beautiful, like her coloring, and I love her personality. She's like so like spunky and interesting, and she's so funny because anytime I have my hand like in her enclosure, she immediately wants to crawl up on it. But the moment you like grab at her or like close your hand around her, she kind of freaks out. They're a very cool pet to have. They are one of the easier of the reptiles, but I wouldn't say that any reptiles are specifically like easy to take care of. I think that they all require some sort of monitoring and maintenance of some kind, but this is Nefertiti, and she is so pretty, and she knows it. Are you getting shy? Shy for the camera? Hi, they're over there. Say hi. Over there. Say hi to Fox Bam. These next two, this is June, and this is Cash on my shoulder. I had actually adopted them together. Ryan and I were out in Palm Springs for my friend Nicole Concilio's event with Smashbox, and I was super bored on the ride out there. So I was like, I wonder what kind of like animals are on Craigslist, like out in the middle of nowhere. So I came across their ad, and they were in like the most horrendous cage ever. I think I did a video on these guys as well, so I'll link that too if you want to see their story and what they're all about. But basically adopted them, and I was told that they were both females, but pretty much like within the first like 24 hours of having them, I was almost positive that this one was a male, which he is. And so I'm just like assuming this, I'm just like pulling this out of my butt, but I'm pretty sure that the guy was using them as breeders and just wanted to get rid of them. And that was the easiest way to just be like, oh yeah, they're both females, like they can be housed together or whatever. That's a whole different conversation, by the way. But so Cash is really big, as you can see. I don't actually know how old these guys are. The guy didn't really know. I mean, he either thought that they were both female and just didn't know a whole lot about them or whatever, but really happy to have gotten them out of the situation. I was actually going to rehome them once I got them set up in their new cage, and then I kind of fell in love with them, but I might still rehome them. So if you have an interest in some super awesome tame leopard geckos and you were in the San Diego area, leave a comment and let me know. I absolutely love these guys. I just am kind of running out of space here at my house, and the original plan was to save them from their current situation and get them all set up, which I have done, and they're happy campers. When I got both of them, she had tons of old skin around her toes. So she had done a lot of sheds, but not shedded completely successfully, and that they can actually lose toes like that if that remains on there. So I worked for like, I want to say a good 48 hours trying to like get that off of her. I was soaking her, and it was quite the challenge, but they're both super healthy and happy now, and I love these guys. They're just like so chill. Next, this is Brutus. He is a Crested Gecko. He is, I actually call him Brutus Frogbutt Morgan. As you can see, he does not have his tail anymore. That happened before I ever got him. I was at a animal convention, and a breeder was using him he was their breeder, and then he was selling him, and I was not planning on coming home with a Crested Gecko, but I knew I wanted to get one like soon, but I like bonded with him. I pulled him out, and he was just like such a little character. And so I came home with Brutus Frogbutt Morgan, and that is how, I came to have him. And he's kind of a shy one. I mean, Crested Geckos, you really don't see them moving around during the day at all. They come out like late at night because they are nocturnal. He is he has to be kept at a certain, did you get spooked? He has to be kept at a certain humidity and temperature in his cage. So he is one that I do mist in the mornings and at night. So he's not like the easiest one to take care of, but he's definitely not the hardest. Is it crazy that you're awake right now? I'm so sorry that I woke you up. He was sleeping in his plant, and it all was going well, and then my giant hand came in and grabbed him, and here we are. Honestly, really shocked that he hasn't jumped. He is such a jumper, which is why we did this all on the couch. Oh, he's about to jump. Oh. Come here. This is Zeppelin. He is a very grumpy Panther Chameleon. Yeah, do you want to go on your little branch? He doesn't like to be held. Here you go. Okay, I know. Don't. He literally just tried to eat my lipstick. He just stuck his tongue all the way out on my lips. Is your tongue okay? How does that lipstick taste? I did not expect that to happen. What the heck? Okay, anyways. Did you just literally ruin my lipstick though? I'm more worried about your tongue though. Is your tongue okay? This is my Panther Chameleon. He is absolutely gorgeous. He was born in January, and he is awesome. He's very, very grumpy, as you can see. Anytime he gets this big red beard, he
He'll turn pitch black like Voldemort's soul and pretty much just get really aggro, and you can tell that he's like really peeved and annoyed. Panther Chameleons are interesting pets. They really should have never been kept as pets or domesticated really at all. But they're really cool. Some of them will put up with being held and handled, and others just don't want it at all. He's actually chilled out quite a bit. His beard has gone down. But he has a super cool cage. He's got plants in there, and I usually like will pull him out and he gets to like sunbathe most of the day, which is awesome. And when I first got him, I thought that it was my hair color that was bothering him, because anything that's like red is supposed to be like like aggressive towards them, because they go all red and they think they're being really scary, and then when they see me and I'm all red, they think like I'm just some weird aggressive like tree animal coming at them. So they're interesting creatures. I would say that he is one of the highest maintenance reptiles that I have. They are hard to keep alive. I used to have two veiled chameleons, and unfortunately they died. I didn't know what I was doing, and didn't know a lot about them, which is ridiculous. I should have done my research, and I know better now. But sadly enough, they didn't make it very long, and I know exactly why. They drink their water off of leaves, so you have to mist them down. I mist him down like sometimes 5 times a day. I'll mist the leaves in his tank even when he's outside, or not his tank, his screened cage, even when he's outside. And they need a lot of airflow, so they need like a screened tank is the best for them. But they're real moody, but he is such a cool pet. Like, I don't ever take him out really. I just leave him be in his super cool enclosure. And you're actually due for a new one, huh? Because you're big now. He grew so fast. He used to bite me and it didn't hurt, but now if he bit me, I'm pretty sure I would bleed. I can't believe you tried to make out with me earlier. Zeppelin. Hey. Hey, bud. Hey. Oh, no. Are you angers? Are you mad? I take care of you. I'm the one that feeds you all of those favorite treats. I would say that you should think more of a chameleon as like a fish, in the sense that they're beautiful to look at and observe, but they're not really to be taken out and handled. And I was hoping that I would get one that was a little less grumpy, so that I could sometimes pull them out on a tree in the house and like let them be, because they do enjoy that, but they don't necessarily like to be handled. It's very stressful for them. So he's actually doing fine right now. His little beard's tucked away and he's not too aggro. But pretty much the only time that he'll ever crawl on me is if he is charging at me in his cage and like accidentally crawls onto my arm and he thinks I'm just some weird flesh tree. He probably has no idea like what I am. But they are pretty intelligent creatures as well. Like, he knows that I feed him, but he still likes to puff up and be like, I am the dominant one in this relationship. You're just a weird tree. Lastly, this is Georgia. This is my Savannah Monitor. She has an interesting and very sad story that has ended very well for her. Well, it's not ended, she's still alive. But she had a really sad situation, and as you can see, I changed my shirt because she has a very keen sense of smell, and she will actually try and eat fabric if it smells like a rat or a hamster or something that she likes to eat, even little lizards. I also put long sleeves on when I handle her, and gloves, because she can and does bite sometimes, and she also has extremely strong, she's very strong, and her claws are very, very sharp. So if you want to see the video on her, I did make a video on her story and where she came from. It was really, really sad, and honestly, I had no intention of having a Savannah Monitor, and I saw her, and then I was in Singapore when I did, and I did about 2 months of research and read some books on Savannah Monitors and learned all about their habits, their needs, and I'm like out of breath from walking back and forth to the animal room. So she is slightly aggressive, and if you guys follow me on my other social media channels and my Instagram for my pets, I was kind of talking about the fact that she has gotten a little cage aggressive, and we've actually nipped that in the bud, and I can do a video on that if you'd like to see how we got from there to here, because she's pretty much completely different than when she was really aggressive in her cage. And I changed a few things and my attitude about it to get her to where she is now. So now we're just working on bonding and her trusting me, and kind of, learning that hands are not food.
But if she does happen to bite me with the gloves on, it will hurt, but at least it won't hurt as bad as if it was my flesh, because they can actually fillet flesh like right off the bone. They're also extremely fast. She actually crawled around the house the other day. Ryan loved that, didn't you, babe? Mm-hmm. But she's really special to me because she had such an awful situation, and I was able to take her out of that. And thank you so much to my husband, Ryan, for putting up with driving all the way out to go get her, having an 8-foot by 4-foot cage in our animal room, and just putting up with her running around the house and stuff, because Ryan doesn't really care for reptiles as pets, and I do. So she is an interesting one. She's actually probably hungry right now. Do I need to feed you today? You hungry? She does go outside sometimes. It's kind of like a work in progress. She gets kind of scared when she's outside and tries to whip me with her tail, so she gets a little aggressive when she's outside, so we're working on that. But firstly, just trying to work with her being comfortable, being touched, and being inside, and realizing that I'm not going to hurt her. So it's definitely a work in progress, but she is really special. And I encourage you to watch her video to see, you know, where she came from and her situation, because it was really, really quite sad. I guess that's I have 3 neon glow fish that are over there on the counter that are adapting to their new cage because I just did a water change. They're like not anything like too crazy, like interesting. They're just glowfish, so I don't think I'll include them, or maybe I'll put a little B-roll on. Here we go. These are the 3 musketeers. They don't actually have names. They did have names, and then they were at the Arctic Fox office, and no one would ever clean out the fish tank, so I brought them here, and now I guess they're just the 3 musketeers because I don't actually have names for them. So what do you think? You want to eat those fish, don't you? You can't eat those fish. That brings us to the end of my pet introduction. Now you are completely caught up to speed with every single animal that I own and that I have. And it was nice to end it off with Georgia. I wasn't sure what to name her for so long, and then our house cleaner started calling her Georgia, and I was like, yes, that is a great name. I hope you guys enjoyed meeting all of my pets. Let me know which one are your favorite. I was gonna say which one is your favorite, but out of like that many animals, I don't know if you could really pick just one to be your favorite. But let me know in the comments below which ones are your favorites, and let me know if you want to see a feeding all my pets video. I think that would be pretty fun and interesting and maybe insightful for some of you that are planning on getting one of the reptiles that you've seen in this video, or one of the animals. But thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you in the next video that will hopefully be up soon and not like 2 months later. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye!